deadline, so it'd be September 5th for
Alright.
a hearing.
I think we're on, so.
Yep.
All right, it's the day today, Tuesday, July 11th, at about 7:07. I'd like to open the business meeting for the Georgetown Zoning Board of Appeals. The Board of Appeals will conduct this meeting according to rules laid out in Chapter 40A of the General Laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Robert's Rules of Order, and its own particular set of rules entitled Rules of Procedure, a copy of which is on file with the town clerk. Another copy is available from the clerk at this meeting, and this meeting is being recorded for the purposes of taking minutes. All right, the first order of business, we're gonna jump right to 34 West Main Street. Move along,
Listen to
hang
us.
through the rest of our business meeting.
Thank you
here.
very much. First, and thank you for taking the time to hearing my
Yes,
question, because
sure.
basically I come here with a request for advice.
Yeah.
I am Didier Grassin. I'm the president and the owner of the Noack Organ Company. And as you may know, the Noack Organ Company has been manufacturing pipe organs in Georgetown for more than 50 years. We are doing that from a small workshop situated at the corner of Main and School Street, which is the old brick school.
Mm-hmm.
This is a building that the firm has purchased in 1960. In 1970, and if you look at some of the lot plan, you will see on this one. You see the lot plan.
Yep.
You'll see in blue
got
the extension which was built in 1970, and you will notice that that extension does not follow the rules of setback. Now, what's happening is actually we are doing various projects. We are working on organs all around the nation, sometimes even overseas, and we have larger projects now coming. And in order to undertake them, I need a bit more space. And one option I thought about is actually using a second floor on that building. So let me explain. On the right-hand side, you have the school brick building. It's a two-story building, and the addition is also a two-story building. But between the two, in marked in yellow, this is the part which is only one story.
Right.
And what I would like to do is to build a second story at that level. So I have a drawings here, which gives you the various view of the building. That's how it is now, and that's I was proposing.
So you're adding a second floor.
Just
on
adding
it.
a second floor.
Okay.
Now that obviously the whole building doesn't follow, as I say, the setback, but actually the construction I'm proposing is actually in the building which follows the setback. So I don't know how to handle that,
Right,
and I'm
right.
coming to you to say, okay, do I need to go through the whole process of application?
So I took a look at this. If you guys don't mind, I'll start and just kind of look at this from a pure procedural manner, because we're not having a hearing tonight, so we really can't talk too much about your case. If
Okay.
we're gonna have a hearing, then we need to invite everybody to
Sure.
come in, so they're notified and all that. So, from a pure procedural standpoint, and I had emailed you, Patty, a little bit earlier with a question, and I hadn't had the chance to review the denial from the building inspector as well as some of the plans here. There's three things that are kind of preventing you from being able to do what you want.
Okay.
By right. You're kind of close in a few areas, but the first is that it's not a single or two-family residential structure. You're using it for a business. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, you can't enjoy some of the exemptions
I see.
that this situation might have, or any other situation like it might have, if this were a residential structure, one or two family. So the bylaw requires, and I noticed that the building inspector properly wrote a denial that said that you need to come to us for a finding by the Board of Appeals in granting a special permit. So the bylaws require that in this case you have to have a special permit. But there's really two other things that are kicking you in here. One is that because you abut a residential lot, then note 5 of the bylaws kick in, and your setback goes from 0 to 20 feet, I believe, and you probably have looked at this 100 times with Les, right? And I don't want to misspeak, but I think your side and rear setbacks, well, your side setback would be 0, the rear would be 10, but for the fact that you abut a residential lot.
That's that.
Okay, thank you.
I know Gina got one of those.
Oh, yeah.
share one.
So if you abutted other lots in the CA district, again, you wouldn't, you know, you didn't trigger. So that's triggering it. And then, of course, you have this piece that I can't read your, I think it says 18 feet. The section that was added in 1970
Yep.
is closer than the 20 feet.
Yes.
So if any of those three things were not true, you wouldn't have to even be here, I think. But
Yeah,
unfortunately,
and
you are.
that's why I am.
And yeah, and I was thinking when Patty was describing it that a lot of the work you wanted to do is maybe is going to be inside that 20 feet anyway, and it appears that maybe that may not be the case. In any event, because it's not a residential structure, you have to apply for a special permit regardless.
Okay.
Because it's a modification to a pre-existing non-conforming structure and it's not a single or two-family, the
Okay.
bylaw requires that you get a special
So
permit
I need
from
to
the
go through
board.
the whole
Yeah,
process.
and that's my opinion, and you guys are more than welcome to jump in here. And again, I actually am glad you come and ask, you know, basically what do I need? Because a lot of people, you know, don't do that. And we have to be careful not to get in, again, in the merits of a case. But when it comes to, you know, I think his denial is actually exactly correct.
I do too.
So, I don't know if you guys, either of you has a chance to review
I
it and want to take a look at it.
spoke with Patty earlier, and then I looked, when I get here, I read this briefly, and when I just saw those, I agree that this fits the bill here, if
Yeah.
you will. Without getting into the merits, well, like Jeff said, if this was a different scenario, you'd probably be in a lot easier path, but unfortunately, the use of the building and whatever else,
I
you
understand.
know, makes you have to jump through a few more hoops. But
Our rules of procedure, I don't know if Les went through those with you as well. They would indicate that maybe as long as you meet, in item 2 here, you can kind of skip the special permit step, but it's really only if it's a pre-existing non-conforming single or two-family residential structure.
And they're certainly not a family
And that
business.
comes straight from the state
Yeah, yeah.
statute.
You know, I
And our
understand.
bylaw mirrors that, and
That on itself closed the door. I
well,
understand.
that and the fact that you abut a residential, you know, you'd almost be, if it were 0, you'd be fine, you know, you'd be able to do it by right. So, you know, the next question everybody gets, well, what do I do to make sure I can be successful in the special permit? And we really can't get into that tonight, except that the board would have to find, in whatever it is you want to do here, that you're not expanding the nonconformity and that it's not substantially more detrimental to, or than the existing
So
nonconformity.
I
So-
could be potentially optimistic about the output.
Well, I mean, again,
But obviously it has to go through the
it has to
process.
go through the board, and we would have to have.
But what you're telling me is, forget it, you just go home and change things. You say apply and we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, and you've got a lot of the work done already. Is this a certified plot?
Can we accept, so he doesn't have to spend, can you accept that plot plan that he has? Because there aren't-
It's
there isn't
stamped.
anything- Yeah, I
It's
mean,
stamped,
there
so-
isn't anything,
this here,
It's
no, that's the mine map.
Oh, so
You talk about this one.
That's from the registry of deeds.
The
back-
1960, yeah.
1960, because, yeah, these people. I wouldn't, I think it's fine.
I think
in
it's
my
fine
opinion.
too, and you're not splitting hairs on the non-conforming piece.
No.
It's within, you're not trying to argue that it's not, and it's not within inches. And the piece, I would say that wherever you plan to modify or expand the structure, up, down, sideways, wherever, if those dimensions are obviously outside that setback zone or within, Les can be a good judge of that. I've asked him before about, when you do an as-built, for example, he'll go out and check an as-built. And if the dimensions are pretty obvious from a stone wall, or his lots are obvious, and he's many feet and not inches,
Yeah.
it's acceptable. Because we really are concerned with whether or not you're within the setback or you're not.
Yeah.
And in this case, you're either 28 feet or you're inside of 20, and there's say a 10-foot gap there somewhere. So if Les is okay with the dimensions that you've got on here, and it is stamped, as you know, I would think that this is fine.
Okay, good.
And the plans you've submitted, I don't as far as the detail goes,
I mean, I think it's almost a full package,
Yeah,
to be honest.
yeah,
You're just missing the application, really.
Yep.
Okay.
are there dimensions on the
I'm
plans? I
I'm
didn't-
glad. I mean,
Yes.
Patty obviously guided me through the process, making sure that I
Yeah.
could bring you as much information as possible.
I don't mean to, you know,
You
we
know,
don't
you
like to
would-
run
you would
everybody
need,
through the ringer,
you know,
but
the
unfortunately.
deed.
Yes, that I have got that.
I mean, he's
We can-
got
we can
almost
talk
everything
about
here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it looks
you
pretty
just
good,
need an
Jeff.
abutters list, which we can get, the deed.
I mean, he's missing the application and,
You don't need floor plans because he's not,
He's not
No.
changing the floor plan, it's just the elevation.
Maybe clean up the dimension, it's hard to read, because it's
Okay.
this one. But the one that's inside, and this
Which
is
one?
fully
The one that
dimensioned.
says 19
The
that you
one,
can't
yeah,
read?
yeah, I don't know what it is. It could be perceived as being conforming, so we,
I'm sorry, it's my
Yeah.
my old French school
no problem, is it, it was hard for me to read.
teaching.
It's a 9. I can
Yeah,
tell
And
you.
I know,
Yeah.
I know, I know. 9 is not done like that.
That's
My
fine.
wife repeats me that regularly.
Because
I knew it
unless,
was a 9.
unless is, in this denial,
I
we
think-
usually have him identify the nonconformity, which he does. I mean, doesn't, we can identify it as non, where 20 feet is required. That's it.
Okay. So
And
basically,
you don't need a finding from us in this case. I mean, it's pretty clear, and the fact is that Les has already given you a denial that
so
I think
basically,
is-
I need to
is
repackage
is accurate.
the application, put a proper 9, and and fill up the.
See,
I
Les
think
didn't
you're
know what it was either, that's why he just said it's not conforming.
Oh, he didn't know, okay.
He didn't know if it was an 8 or a 9. I
Yeah, you
guess.
just fill in the application and Patty can help you with that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you have to pay a fee, but, and you could probably get it done for August if you wanted to.
you know, the deadline's passed.
Is the deadline
This is-
passed?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
last
so this
Thursday.
is where you get kinda kicked into
So the
it.
hearing would be September.
So if you're not in a big rush for this.
It'd be
We've been
September.
here for 50 years.
Yeah.
We can wait another month.
month's gonna kill you.
It would be September.
Okay. Well, thank you very much
Okay,
for
thank
your
you.
advice.
Thanks
and
for
being the
coming in
time.
and clarifying
you.
it.
Do you want to hold on to these so you don't have to reprint them for later?
Not a bad idea.
Sure.
I like to be green.
Just bring that to the assessor's office,
Yep.
and I filled it out for you, because that can take up to 10 days to get.
I don't know what
Okay.
else in here. I
And
think
then I'll
it's
give you a
still
call
something
tomorrow
from
around 11.
And thank you for coming in to ask the question too.
No, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I mean, it is completely arcane system, so I don't understand any of it. I even don't understand all the vocabulary. So it's greatly helpful that you should do it. I'll give you one back.
Okay.
Thank you
So
very
just
much.
take that with you.
Thank you.
You wanna take
Thank
this,
you very
Deacon
much.
has, he already has copies of a lot of that, especially the color and all that stuff.
Yeah, he doesn't need to
Hard
bring
to
any
do.
more.
I mean, he could
Yeah.
recycle that
Okay.
if you want to and bring it back in.
Thank you.
All right.
thank you.
All right. Okay, to approve the business and hearing minutes of May 2nd.
Yeah, so you three were here for those both, and we can do it with 3.
I would like to make a motion to approve the business minutes and hearing minutes for 11 Long Hill Road of May 2nd, 2017.
Second.
Okay, so motion to approve, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. That was for both the business and the hearing minutes?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So is there any other new business? Anybody needs to
No,
bring up this time?
I don't
Patty,
have
you got
any of
anything?
the financials because it's the end of, like we do every July. I'll be going over everything with Mary about the middle of July to get the end of fiscal, we're waiting for the June phone bill to come in, and then get what's left in the revolving account, the expense account, I'm not sure what's going on with that, because I think they're taking what we paid for phone out of our expense account. I don't know what we're left with, so I don't have that yet.
Okay,
So we'll do that all at the next business meeting,
okay.
or we can wait till the hearing meeting, cause August 1st is, no one got in. I sat down with Mello Disposal and they went to the selectmen last night, and they're trying to get their stuff in for September 5th also.
So August 1st is, is a Tuesday.
Yeah, so that would,
You probably don't need that
we'll
one. though.
figure that out later. under,
Is there gonna be a bunch of stuff for September if,
Mm-hmm.
well, it'll just be the finance report.
no, I mean, as far as potential,
If
hearings?
If he
do you
gets,
want?
if he files that
And
and
West-
Mello gets it in, we'll have two.
Okay. Alright,
As far as I know, the other stuff out there isn't, it's just being thrown
Yeah,
around.
all right.
Okay, under correspondence, you go by
There's
those
some,
minutes.
No, and he wasn't in any special rush anyway. Right? He said-
If he has mostly everything, he's probably
should be,
gonna.
Well, that's why I
We
was
could
thinking
put him
if we,
first.
and if we
Files first.
don't go August 1st and we go the middle of the month, I'm thinking, would that give him that extra week to get his stuff in?
do like August 15th or whatever.
That's gonna mess up the,
Okay, I was just throwing it out
yeah.
there. Let go.
Psst,
Gone.
don't
I think
know.
doing two, I didn't wanna have 3 or 4 teed up for September, that, if we can help it, but if, I was thinking the same thing you were.
I don't
But-
know, I don't
but
know if
two
Mel-
and
I
one
don't-
that seems
I don't know
pretty-
if Mel's gonna be ready, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, they gotta,
Well, his is gonna be
I
straightforward.
know they gotta do up the lease again with the selectmen, I think.
Okay.
They
So
gotta
take a
re-up,
few
that's
meetings.
gotta be
Okay.
re-upped.
Well, we can talk about whether we need an
Okay.
August hearing, let's give it a couple weeks and then you
Okay,
can.
under correspondence, is that
The
letter,
Denial that we
denial
just
letter.
covered, right?
There's just, FYI from Cimarron Valley. Now this I wanna be able to answer conservation agent tomorrow. No, not this one, this is just FYI on West Street, so they denied West Street. That's basically, and in your email, I
What was
forwarded
going on with West Street? They were
the
building.
40B.
Yeah, they wanted to put condos down there, right?
Yeah, so they denied it again? Or Concom?
No, they've been
denied it?
working with them over the past, since 2000,
Oh, I'm just reading this now, sorry.
yeah.
Yeah. Conservation is not,
Well, they came to the meeting and they kinda said, we want a decision tonight. So they gave them a decision. And the decision had multiple reasons why they, you know,
the jurisdictional issue over there got
Yeah,
rather
so-
convoluted too, so.
Hmm.
And then the other thing that I need to get back to Steve on is, so he has an NOI that came in, and usually I look at them if it's just a septic or something, but this was, I spoke to Les about it too. If you, there's a couple of things going on with it, and I just wanted to send, this is a draft email, and I just wanted you to just look at it quick before I send this to Steve for his comments, cause we send comments to the Conservation Commission. If something, you know, like this, look at the plot plan, there's more than one building on the lot. They're at 21 feet where the setback was 20, so if conservation made them move something and they went a foot, they would need a variance. It says proposed garage with bonus room above, and, you know, Les just wanted to make, it doesn't say what that bonus room would be, whether it would be someone living there, which you can't do in a detached.
But this would all go through Les anyway,
It
so
would, it
any,
would.
any change that they would
But any-
propose as a result
Right,
of,
and
okay. When is the
I think it's, week after next. And then at the end, you say, I said this should all go by the building inspector, as he's the zoning enforcement officer.
so you're,
So I'm just,
I'm sorry,
These
what
are-
was that
these are-
date, Patty? Their meeting date is what?
It's in a,
hold on, let me just
Oh.
click on it.
It doesn't matter, it's in another week or two.
I think it's. Can't get in.
It's okay, so you're putting them on notice though?
Yeah,
that-
I need to let him know tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
just letting him know, these could be
Yeah.
the potential things, that's all. So,
Is there any other correspondence?
no. Everybody's on vacations, July, as you can see.
And there's no new applications under old business?
Yeah, like I said, I'm working with Noel, I need Gina and Paul's, I'll let Paul know about his certificate.
All that's left in this meeting is to tell Gina to get on conflict. We're gonna have to drag it out, we've only. Is there anything else?
That's it.
No, who else with Paul? I just did it last night, actually.
Gina and Paul.
Be told.
Everybody
Alright.
else is-
So I have to beat Paul? Is that all
You
I
gotta
have
be,
to
that's
do?
all you gotta
Maybe
do, and then
Paul.
he's in the hot seat. Yeah. Is there anything else? You guys wanna, we all set?
Mm-mm.
Anything with you? So our next meeting will be August 1st, but within 2 weeks, I think we'll decide whether or not we need to have that. Reasonable? Good with you guys? I would suggest that we don't have any hearings and there's not a lot going on. Let's move to September.
Okay.
All right, I hear a motion to close the meeting?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and the meeting for July 11th is closed.
Thanks, Louis.
Easy peasy.
All right, there we go.